Hi, it's Sandy Wyllie. Welcome to my mental health channel, where I wipe away the stigma of mental illness by talking about my own struggles, having borderline personality disorder. I talk about post-traumatic stress disorder, anxiety, panic attacks, depression. I talk about narcissism, bipolar, schizophrenia. I talk about all the therapies I've been in: CBT, DBT, psychoanalytical, psychodynamic, IFS, all the unethical psychologists I've had who sexually abused me, and a plethora of other mental health related topics. But I only come on as a former patient of almost 20 years. I am not a licensed therapist. I do not hold a degree in psychology, so I cannot diagnose you or give you a professional opinion. And all I ask in return of you is your kindness, please, in the comments. Please be kind and respectful to me and to other people who comment. We don't have to agree on everything, but we do need to agree on being kind and showing respect. Now, if you're new to my channel, welcome. Hit that subscribe button there on the lower right, that box that says subscribe. And if you like what you see, give it a thumbs up. If you subscribe, that way you'll be notified of when my next video is coming out, and it's 100% free. Now, today's topic is why I can't be myself in relationships. Why being myself has ruined relationships, especially why being myself has ruined my therapies. I never lasted in therapy. I've been sexually abused, physically abused, manipulated in therapies, just for being myself. I was told I had too much on my plate by a female psychologist. I was told by a Harvard psychologist I was too demanding, too intense. I wanted too much attention. I've been kicked out of therapies just like that. I never threatened anyone. I never physically harmed anyone. I never swore in therapy. I never yelled in therapy. Just basically being myself. It's all true. We have different personas depending on who we're with. Think about it. We're different when we're at work, right? As we're different when we're in church, if we have a church, if we go to a religious synagogue or church or parish or wherever you do, if you do it. We're different with our best friends than we are with our children. We're different with our in-laws than we are with our parents. You see the point I'm trying to make here is that we're different. We're like a chameleon sometimes. We change who we are depending on who we're with. It's not like we're trying to be phony, okay? I'm not saying that people who do this are phony. I'm saying that we're different. We show different parts of ourselves, okay? Like a chameleon is still a chameleon, whether he is brown and fades in with the tree, or whether he's, green and fades in with the leaves, or whether he's pink and fades in with me. It doesn't mean that isn't that chameleon at that time. It doesn't mean that you're not you when you're with your parents, as opposed to with your in-laws. You're still you, but you're different than when you're with your best friend, compared to when you're with your children, compared to with your work colleagues, working colleagues, or your boss. So it doesn't mean that we're phonies. It just means that depending on who we're with, we bring out different parts of ourselves. Now, if anyone studies IFS, then you know all about parts work. but I'm sure not many therapists watch this channel. So a lot of people probably are going, huh, what do you mean IFS, Part Tour? I'm not going to delve into all that because this is not a professional channel, so I'm not going to do that. But every part I brought, I couldn't be wholly, completely me. I had to, because I was never accepted no matter where I went, whether it was on the job or with best friends. I mean, I lasted in relationships a long time, like with my best friend Holly for 12 years, because she never really knew me. I didn't show her the parts that I thought would scare her off. Like I didn't show her my needy and clingy side. In that friendship, I let her call all the shots. She called me and made plans when she wanted to get together. She called me when she had, like her and Linda called me, my other best friend Linda, when they had problems. I never called them when I had problems. When I needed to talk, I went to shrinks, and even the shrinks didn't like me and kicked me out. Of course, I have borderline personality disorder, and this disorder makes having interpersonal relationships very difficult. But I lasted with my husband since I was 18, okay? That's 41 years because I'm 59. And I was 18 when I met him. And he's gone through all my life cycles. He's seen me at all different angles and different, he's seen me psychotic, he's seen me enraged, he's seen me lose my temper, he's seen me in a depression, he's seen me through panic attacks. So he's seen every shade of me, like the chameleon. He's seen all shades, everything of me, and he's the only person who loves me in all my parts. Nobody else does. Nobody. And so at this stage of the game, when I'm 59, I say to myself, I'd rather not have any friends because I really don't feel like pretending anymore for people, or not speaking up like with Holly. I never spoke up. I was a human being. I had problems, but I always listened to her problems. There was times I would have liked to have done things, but she called the shots what we did and when we did them. And every time I tried to, do that, she would always cancel plans. So at this stage in the game, I don't want that anymore. I'd rather have no friends, no therapists, and than have to be anything but my authentic true self. Because I showed, like I said, we all have our own personas depending on where we are. I don't want to repeat myself because someone complained that I repeat myself too much here, so I'm trying not to do that. But even in those times, no one really saw the true me. Even with my friends, the people you would think would see the true you, your best friend, you would think your best friend has seen you, and that wasn't the case. I think the only 3 people who really knew me 100%, my husband is one of them, Dr. Richard Geist, who I was in therapy with for 16 years. I saw him for free. And Dr. James Barberia, who I had a 2-year sexual affair with. He was also one of my psychologists. That's 3 people. That's it. 3. 3 people really knew me inside and out. Saw all sides of me, where I could be clingy, demanding, enraged, psychotic. Those are the only 3 people. And I'm only with one of them now, just my husband. That's the only one that lasted. I guess, I wish I could be more likable to people. I don't think I'm too likable, or people think I am too intense, or they might watch these videos and think that's a crazy lady. I've had some comments about I look crazy, my hair's crazy, my eyes are crazy. I've had all sorts of comments on not on my YouTube, because YouTube won't allow that crap. On other social media platforms, because I put my videos on different social media platforms to market them. And I've had a lot of comments about, very, very negative comments. But at this point in my life, in this stage of the game, I'm just going to be me, and I'd rather be me alone than be a fake, than hold back from who I am. A lot of people do hold back who they are, and I've seen it with other people too. I've had people who I try to be friends with. This one woman, her name was Anne Marie, and she was in my age, and she worked in the library that I used to go to. It was like 5 minutes from my house. She lived like 5 minutes from my house. In fact, I invited her and her husband up to my house because my shrink at that time said, you need to make more friends, You really need friends in your life. So here was a woman my age who lived 5 minutes away from me, who was a librarian at the library I used to go to, and we got to talking. And every time I went to the library, we talked more and more. Of course, she'd always talk about her mother and her sister. People are usually wrapped up in themselves. I never said anything about myself. I just listened to her. But anyway, because my psychologist at the time said I needed to have friends, I invited her and her husband over for dinner. And then I found out she's a flake. My son was there too, because my son was only 8 or 9. He lived at home, so, he was there during the meal. And it turned out she was a religious freak. Now, I don't mind you, whatever you believe in, that's great. I have nothing against whatever people believe. If they don't believe, that's fine. My son doesn't believe. He's an atheist. My husband reads the Bible every day. That's the truth. My husband wanted to be a minister. I don't know how many of you people know that, but he wanted to be a minister before he became a computer programmer. And me, I'm not religious. Do I believe? Yes, but this is not about religion anyway. I just want to tell you that this woman was hyper-religious. All she talked about was Jesus saving us and blah, blah, blah. She went on and on and on. Like, that's all she talked about the whole meal. And she was really psycho talking it like, hallelujah, praise be, Lord. And I'm telling you, she was not like that in the library. She acted perfectly normal, all right? And my son was getting scared. You could see my son because she was acting like one of those, those religious channels where they have Jesus said, and he stood on the mount. She was really doing this in my living room. And I was like, oh, shit. That's what it is when you invite people to your house, You have to wait for them to leave. That was a bad mistake. If you don't know someone that well, never invite them to your house, okay? Because they could be psycho. even if you talk to them. I had spoken to this woman, okay, for months in the library. We were becoming friendly, all right? I said, she lives, she lives like 5 minutes away from me. We have a rapport. She was my age. She was a librarian. We had a rapport going. She seemed nice, but then when she got to my house, she turned into some freak. She did give me a hint, though, in the library one time. She says, "I'm religious. Is that all right with you?" And I said, "Sure," But I didn't know. I didn't know to what extent she meant, So, and then when she showed her true colors, I said, "That's not for me." And I didn't have nothing to do with her after that. Even my husband and my son didn't want nothing to do with her. My son said, "Mommy, please don't ever have her up this house again," because she was scaring my son. So a lot of times, that's who she was, but it wasn't for me. And that does happen. A lot of times, I don't know what it is that would turn people off, why I turn people off. I think I'm a big 80s chick. I like the big hairdo, A lot of people are turned off by the big hairdo, the eye makeup. I'm flamboyant. I don't know. I do what I want to do. I'm not conventional. I'm totally out of the box. Totally out of the box, In fact, most of my poems are published in Oddball magazine. Gee, I wonder why. See what I'm saying? That's the thing I attract. And I love quirky people. I don't like intellectual people, all right? I like people who are quirky. I like people who are outside the box. I like creative types. I love creative people. That's who I'm attracted to, both men and women. I love, people who are creative, people who love the arts, people who are quirky, I'm outside the box, can you tell? And it's hard to find people like that. I'm sure if a lot of people saw my YouTube channel, they would say, "That woman's a flake. There's no way I would ever want to be friends with her. She's a flake." But you know what? I don't care that I don't have any friends anymore. I'm still going to be me. Most people don't like me. I'm sorry. You don't like me. What can I do? I'm still going to be me. I'm still going to be authentic and be myself. But being myself is a lonely venture in this life because it's very hard to find your tribe. See what I'm saying? Find people who are like you. And really, connect with you the way you are, where you don't have to, be a certain persona. You can really be yourself with that, and really be liked for who you are. I think we all want that, don't we? We want to be really understood and accepted and liked for who we are. I know I do. And it hurts that I'm not. And but like with that librarian, I don't always like people for who they are either, I don't like people pushing things in my face. You can believe whatever you want, if you want to vote for Trump and you think he's awesome, even though I don't, as long as you don't push that on me, don't push him on me, don't push your political views on me, don't push your sexual orientations on me, don't push your religious thoughts on me. You can believe anything you want, and that's fine, and I'm cool with it. But just don't be fanatical about it. Don't be obsessive about it. And don't push it on me, your agenda or whatever, you know. Just don't push it on me. That's all. You know, I don't push, whatever I believe, you know. And that's great, but I don't push my beliefs on people. I'll have my own channel and talk about what I believe because this is my channel. But I also said you can disagree with me in the comments as long as you're respectful. So, yeah, it gets lonely at times. Being yourself can be a very lonely thing to be. All right, leave some comments, please. And tell me about how you feel about letting your guard down, being yourself. It's kind of backfired for me sometimes. But anyway, till next